It's my great pleasure to introduce Emma Naslund, coming live from Sweden. Hello.
Hello, top of the morning to you.
Thank you very much. Well, it's morning for you. It's night for me. It's about 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And you're not a morning person. You were telling me off air, you're not a morning person. So thank you for doing this today.
It's all right. Thank you. You have to make exceptions, right?
Thank you. Well, you have great music, so I'm very stoked that we're getting a chance to have a chat. But before we talk about that, Myriad in particular, talk to me about coming to Australia. Have you ever been down under to visit or to tour?
No, unfortunately not. But we would love to come and play shows and snorkel and yeah.
Snorkel. What about surfing? I could take you out, for a surf.
I would like that. I never tried that before. I'm a snowboarder myself.
Oh, okay.
So I grew up in the mountains. So I've been, cutting some snow in my days.
Well, there's a lot of snow here in winter, but it's Victoria, New South Wales, inland, not where I live. I'm on the coast.
All right. Yeah, we're going in. It's November now, so everything is gray and gloomy, and then comes the winter, of course. So
what's it like being part of the Swedish music scene? Because there's so many bands. It would be very competitive, wouldn't it?
Not sure what to tell you, actually. The Swedish music scene, in our genre, I think it's more common that people and bands are known abroad than in Sweden. So I don't consider myself really a part of the music scene in Sweden. So I don't know what to tell you except that.
I'm surprised. Because there's so many great bands and singers such as yourself coming out of Sweden, so they have more success overseas.
Yeah, I think that's a very common thing.
Yeah, maybe. So your band GAUPA, I'm going to try and say it correctly, has a new album out, Myriad. Tell me a little bit about making it. Was it a challenge? Was it harder than your previous music, or was it easier because you're a bit older and you know what you're doing now? Tell me about the process.
I think it started when we released the album Feberdrum. We started to write new material. I think that's a very common thing that when you unleash something on the world, you tend to start a new creative process.
Yeah, sure.
For me, I would say it was more comfortable. We have developed a better communication in the band, so it's easier to create together. It's in this band everyone contributes, so we have everyone in on the songwriting. So I think that's why we sound the way we do, and because everyone is a part of the writing process. Yeah.
So everybody's part of the process. Nobody has one particular song that they write. So everybody writes certain verses or lyrics to each song.
It depends. Sometimes you would have like a riff and you go into the rehearsal pit with the others in the band. And then almost every time the song will take a completely different direction when the other guys join in. So
that must be exciting, like having the words come out, finished product, you release an album, and here you are talking to someone in Australia, a journalist in Australia about it. So everybody can hear your music now streaming.
Yeah, I think that's one of the great things about living in the now. We have a technology that is very helpful. People can put out like a demo. You can have a home studio, and you can reach people all over the world.
Yeah,
more easily, I would say. and it's so strange to us that people take an interest in what we do, and that you want to talk to me. That's beyond. So very, very grateful for having you call me.
Look, it's fantastic speaking to you too, Emma. And when you have such a powerful voice as yours, I mean, what do you do to take care of it? Is there any procedure or any sort of thing you do to make sure that voice doesn't, you know, go bad or silent? You don't want that to happen.
You don't. I would say some of it ought to be genetic, how my vocal cords are built. But of course, I practice like any other musician or people who do some sort of acrobatics. I think practice is the key.
What about other interests outside of music? Does that keep you fresh? What do you do when you're not recording songs or writing songs? Do you read? Do you play sport? Is there something you love to do outside of the musical side of things?
I love thrifting. I go to flea markets as often as I can, and I change a lot of things. Like I sew sequences.
Oh, do you?
And
cool.
Stuff. And work with some costumes for music video and for myself as well. So that is like one interest. But I also read. I have a day job in a bookstore.
Oh, cool.
So I have good access to books.
Right.
And yeah, I also go dancing, but this is just not professionally. This is just adults trying to, you know, have fun and stay a bit in shape.
Adult dancing. That sounds interesting.
That sounds more sexual than it is.
I was going to say it sounds like Dirty Dancing, but you know that was a good movie.
Yeah, but you know it's just like at the local gym.
Right.
They have some dance and aerobics classes, and we go there. People in this town trying to channel our inner Beyonce. That's I enjoy that.
And you occasionally make your own costumes. Do you wear them on stage? And you know, like that's exciting.
Yeah, I put together the thing that I'm wearing in the Raw music video.
Yeah, right.
It's actually like an old nightgown and a body underneath, and then like a feather collar thing that I put together. And I also designed and built the costumes for the bubble dancer in that video and the dancers in Diametrical Enchantress.
Okay.
So just for fun, you know.
Oh, but from memory, having seen those videos, they were pretty creative and detailed costumes. So well done.
Thank you. I think it comes down to I grew up at a circus school.
Oh,
so I've been. This comes very natural to me. It's kind of a mindfulness thing to work with costumes. You enjoy a good costume.
Yeah.
So I believe that's. I have this thing that you ought to dress up for like the audience, and I think this comes from the circus years.
Now that sounds interesting. So when you grew up, you came from a background from circus, and that influenced you. When did you know that you wanted to be a singer and a performer, or did that all happen at an early age?
I always knew that I wanted to be a performer, but I didn't know what sort of performer.
Okay.
So I was in the circus school from the age of 6 to 23, I think.
That's a long time at circus school.
That's a long time, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, you grow older, muscles tighten, you get, you know, not as bendy.
So this new album, do you think it'll bring in new fans? new people listening to it. Why is it different to your previous records?
Hopefully it will bring new fans. We reach more people now because we have signed with Nuclear Blast.
Yeah.
I get to talk to you. I get to do some interviews, and they help us out, and that's very, very nice. They've been great to us. We have a great team over there as well.
Good.
Not sure. I think I read some reviews that people thought it was a little snappier, this album.
That's a good thing.
that was not how they phrased it. That's what I choose to take that with me. To me, I really, really like this album. I think it's a banger. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the word snappy to me means interesting and quick and unique. So that's how I take the word snappy. So I'll take that as a compliment.
And a little bit more upbeat, I would say.
Sure.
And we've been so lucky because we had the feedback we've gotten. It's been very nice. People seem to enjoy it, and that's really, really nice for us, of course. We're still just amazed that people actually listen to what we do, and yeah.
Well, you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be, because once you release music like you release, and this new album Myriad changes from first song to the last song, nothing's the same, and there's a lot of melodies and different kind of unique instruments used over the top of each other. So you've really experimented, and your voice is changed up in different tracks. So I think there's a lot of different things happening, and definitely should bring in a new audience.
Hopefully. I think a good thing is that we're not like a train that keeps on going. We're more like a tree, and the different branches stretch out in different directions, and you cannot know what will happen. So I think it's hopefully people won't get tired of that we write the same song over and over. For some band it really works, but for us we have a myriad of influences in the band, and that contributes, of course, to the fact that the songs are a bit different from each other.
Is that how you came up with the album title, or were there a few titles that you chose from? You had
no. You would think so. This is a reconstruction. I'm very interested in words and collect words and sounds, and the word myriad is the same in Swedish as it is in English. So in Swedish it would be myriad.
Myriad.
Myriad. Your Swedish is excellent, man. As are your glasses, of course. So that's just came up with the word, and then there was no discussion. Everyone was like, all right, we call it myriad, it's all right. So it's a very boring story.
It's not a boring story. You're telling it. You're making it interesting. Your mannerisms.
I don't know about
do you have a style? Does Emma Naslund have a style? What would you call yourself?
I try to be kind. I don't know. Could you elaborate? What do you mean style?
Well, kind is a good start, but your style, are you laid back? Are you very relaxed, or are you confident and get on stage and just go for it? What would you say your style is?
As a person?
Yeah.
I think it varies a lot. Of course, I'm a bit outgoing, I would say.
Yep.
At times, especially on stage.
Yep.
But then I also have like more withdrawn character to myself. But I think this goes for most people, that you are a lot of things.
Yeah, that's true.
No one can have like 100% energy all the time. I try to, be stoked and happy person, but of course this is not all the time.
No. Is there something that you remember when you were growing up that you take with you and use as help to write your lyrics now? Are there any memories, or all your lyrics, are they just new lyrics to you?
That's a wide question. I guess everything you go through in your life shapes the person that you are, and hopefully you grow into like a better person over the years. And I think you have like pieces from your life that you can work with if you've been through something
sure,
not so nice. Maybe you can when it's not in your present anymore, you can use it and create through that feeling. So I think it's some people paint or write plays, and some people do music. I think it's sort of something that you have to do to like process what's inside you.
Yeah.
But I would say the thing that I try to channel from when I grew up is something my dad used to say: it's not a competition. And as a child, you really want to compete, and you want to run, and you want to, yeah. And he was always like, "Det är väl ingen tävling heller," which would be not a competition in Swedish. And I think this is so good, because a lot of people do music, and it's not a competition.
No.
If you're a great singer, that doesn't make me any less of a good singer, because it is not a competition.
No.
And I think this is something, it's got something to it.
It has. Your dad obviously had good advice. That's terrific.
I'll tell him. Oh, he will see this for sure.
Oh, good. Have you ever thought about Eurovision, or what's your opinion on Eurovision? Do you think that is still as important or popular today as it once was, or not?
The music competition.
Yeah, Eurovision.
This is huge in Sweden. It's called like the Melodifestivalen, Festival of Melodies. The Swedish. They play arenas. It's so huge in Sweden. No, this is not for me. I don't think it's my scene at all.
Okay.
But it's like a huge production.
I was just wondering.
Stretched through a lot of weeks, and you have, like boxes of crisps. You can compete about the seating place in the final, in the Swedish final. So yeah, it's a huge thing over here, but not really drawn to that.
Okay, well, that's fair enough. I mean, your voice is different, but maybe have you ever considered going to a different genre or singing differently, maybe more ballads and romantic songs, or pop, or you want to stick with the heavier tunes?
I guess you double around a bit.
Yeah,
it's unavoidable. So you try different things. I always had a sweet spot for the stoner rock genre.
Of course, yeah.
So I started my like a solo project where I wanted to write stoner rock songs. But then I reached out to Daniel and Jimmy in GAUPA.
Yeah.
And we started this project. So now I have a platform. I have somewhere to do that thing. So I guess now I would do maybe other genres on the side, just to keep it interesting.
Have you ever thought about writing a musical for the stage or a film soundtrack?
Oh, to write music for a movie would be amazing, of course. Not really a musical person, but I can see how you would ask that, because we talked of the circus school and everything.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. It's all linked.
I enjoy it at times, but I'm not really interested in writing that sort of music myself.
Have you ever had any problems as a female in the music industry? I mean, things are changed now, which is just good, but more things have to change. Have you ever had any problems or challenges being a female in the male-dominated music industry?
For sure. Sometimes I think as a woman, you have to prove yourself a bit or hard at times, just to be taken serious and to earn someone's respect at times. Now, when we've been working with GAUPA, this has not been an issue, really. It's been pepper, smooth sailing so far. But this is a common thing. I have women musician friends that have played guitar for like all their lives, and sometimes people will be like, "Do you know where to plug this in?" And it's like, "Yeah, I do." So that goes on a bit, I think.
Yeah, that's not good. Well, I'm glad that you haven't had too many dramas. That's a good thing.
I think people ought to be nice to each other, kind, and I think you should respect people regarding to how well they perform.
Yep.
Or doesn't, because I think also it's like a team effort. If we're going to play a show, we have to work together with the guys to do the sound and everything, because then it will be a good show.
Of course.
But sometimes there's a clash there, and that's really sad, I think.
Oh, that's no good.
I think it's quite common, actually.
Do you ever sing? Oh, sorry, go on.
No, go on.
I was going to say, do you ever sing in Swedish, or is it always English? Do you ever, write lyrics that are just for a Swedish audience?
I've done one song that's completely in Swedish. It's called Sömnen, and it's actually on the new album.
That's the one. Okay, well, very cool.
Yep.
I was just wondering if that was yours or who wrote it, or it was a collaboration. That is terrific.
No, it's the lyrics are mostly mine, like all the time.
Yep.
And the vocal arrangements. So yeah. And
Do you have
sometimes the titles as well.
Yes.
On this album, the titles are mine.
So you chose all the titles. That's very cool.
I did. With an iron fist. No.
No, of course not. You wouldn't. Now, to wrap it up, why should people listen to the new album, Myriad? Is there something that you want people to know about it before they listen to it, or you just want them to enjoy it?
I would like for people to enjoy it, of course. It will not be everyone's cup of tea, because things seldom are. But I think if you're interested in new bands, and if you can think a bit outside of the box of what rock music should be, I think this might be a good trip for you. I hope so.
Well, I think so. I mean, it covers a lot of different areas of sound. It's not all the same, as I mentioned earlier. It's very unique.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Have you got other interviews today? This will be the best one, by the way.
What? Sorry?
This interview will be the best interview you'll have all day.
For sure, for sure. I have another one after this one, and I will be joined by Daniel. Actually, you missed him. He's fixing our car, so he couldn't join us. But yeah,